Hello, I'm Earl Gibbs, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. I have a very interesting person with me for the first time in a very, very long time. This man always used to be on the show with me. All of a sudden, he disappeared. The one and only the mighty Tao. How you doing?
Good to be here with you, Jay, man.
It's good to
Long
see you.
time indeed.
Yeah, so how things going with you so far?
All things are going super, man. I give thanks and praises every day
Yeah,
that I reached this far in my career, I'm in the heart of my experience, and it's going wonderful. Of course, everything is a challenge, and it's very challenging. Depends on what side of the globe you're on.
right.
And in St. Martin, we know we live in a challenging area. We are in a challenging location when it comes to St. Martin.
Yeah. But I mean, you known the world over, especially when you had the biggest hit in the history of St. Martin Rumba.
Still.
And it's still being played all over.
Yes, of course.
So I hope we can get it from you so I can have it played on Hot 99.9 FM too.
Well, you have it because I brought a whole USB stick for you. You got like a
Right.
truckload of songs there, and that's not
Right
all.
here.
That's not all. That's not all, right?
Right.
But I give thanks and praises. I said before because without the master upstairs, man, nothing would be possible here. But I can say like, hey, perseverance and consistency pays off.
Well, things are going good. I understand that you're going to be handling the junior Calypsonians.
Oh yeah, the Carnival Committee had outsourced the junior calypso competition to Dow's Musical Foundation. Yes, it's our foundation, but it's not just a Dow. It's a foundation. A lot of members and teachers are involved to make this possible. I tell a lot of people that though it's Isidore York, Mighty Dow, he may be spearheading it and guiding it by no way it meaning that it's a solo act here,
Yeah.
You need everybody on board. So I at the same time I want the public at large to know that they too are involved. So look, we're looking for, if you have a $5 somewhere, because this thing is gonna cost us something like $55,000 to put together, because we're not just doing the junior calypso show, we're also doing the steel pan competition between the schools.
Okay.
This is going to be the inaugural steel pan competition between the schools. It never happened. I think
good.
it's long overdue. The last time I think we had competition in St. Martin, steel pan competition, that is, was 1984. That were the seniors, but then only my father's steel pan show up.
Wow.
Because the other guys maybe got tired that we beat them so much. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that shouldn't have taken so long. But OJ, as well, in 2020, just before COVID, we were busy. We had it slated for April 4th, then the steel pan competition between the schools. And we had more the Catholic schools at that time and one or two schools at the Max school.
Yeah.
But now since then, and COVID come and squash that, because we was in the heart of it. And I remember, if you could remember, the lockdown for
Right.
us started like in the middle
Exactly
of
at that
March.
time, yeah.
Right, so just a couple of weeks away, we had to shut it down. And if you counting from 2020 to now, it took us 3 years to rebuild this back to where it is right now. We're still not there, but we're in a better place. So we're having these both events at one time.
So now that the St. Martin Carnival Committee has outsourced that part to you, is it for 1 year or period of years?
Well, they did it for 1 year, but trust you me, I don't how you call it, foresee that it's going to be for a very long time.
I hope so.
Because I'm restructuring it in a way that it will be everlasting. We'll be trying to preserve it and maintain it, just as we're doing with the steel pan right now. And as I said, it's not a solo act, so we need everybody hands on deck to do this. And I must commend the president of the Carnival Committee, along with the other committee members, that because a lot of people, a lot of Calypsonians and persons out there have said they wanted to do it. But however, for some reason, maybe they didn't get around to really getting to do it. So I had to step up and say, listen, cut the chase, let's do it. Let's see, we should be able to make a contribution there. And for me, I'm a Calypsonian, I'm a musician, I arrange, I sing. So I know basically, what should be done to get it off its feet and And so far, so good. A lot of people interested. A lot of businesses, think it's a good initiative.
Right.
So I tell them, listen, I just don't want to hear it's a good initiative. You got to, how to say, put your money where your mouth is or something like that. We need the support of everybody. I mean, it's this is going to be an annual something. And if we get the schools competing, though I don't believe too much in competition, but in this regard,
you need competition.
You need competition to stand out, especially from the youth, to know that every child, every student counts. So if somebody gonna win first or somebody gonna win, but each of them have to walk away there with something in the hand so they can show their children, their grandchildren, listen, we were part of this. This is where we started and how, where it would be, I guess, in years to come.
But I must say, the competition is a good motivator. Too often on St. Martin, we don't want to compete, and then we fail. Because you look at business, you got to compete. So it's very important. And I notice on the island, like in sports and all of that, we're always like, oh, I don't want to. No, you got to compete. I think your idea is great. I hope it will last for a very, very long time, especially the part with the schools and the competition, the steel pan. We need to move on to a different avenue. I think it's a great idea.
Of course, because when you look at the other islands, if we compare ourselves with the other islands, they are way ahead of us in culture. And St. Martin, we have, I don't know if this is a fair statement to make, but our economy is not bad, for people doing business and the amount of money that is turned over here versus the other islands. But the difference is those other islands, they feel our culture, they walk it. We just get unnecessary challenges, meaning it's so unfortunate because you have school managers who discourage the children to come.
Yeah.
Or punish them. Are you going to steel pan class? Are you going to music class because you didn't do your homework? And they literally will get in the parents' head, and the parents are the next one that's leave it off the hook. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to perform. Everybody wants to shine. And for us, it goes beyond just playing steel pan and OJ. It's like, I am not a correction center, but that's basically that we do.
But it helps.
It takes discipline.
Yeah, it helps.
And it helps the child.
Keep them out of the street too.
Of course. So would we rather than be on the internet, on the thing, or they have some free time, like real free time to do something positive. So we emphasize on that a lot. And some parents are walking, but they ain't doing good in school. I don't want them to come until. I said, parents, you have this wrong.
Music
they have
help.
to come.
Yeah.
Then but they don't see it. It's hard. They don't see it. And I said they have to be consistent with it, because at the end of the day, like I take out the children now and again to perform at the different, places, hotels, the harbor.
Yeah.
And you will see those children there. And sometimes a child will say, how long are you playing steel pan? 3 years. But I think that 3 years, maybe only 2 songs he playing because he inconsistent. I come, I don't come.
Yeah.
So it's a constant training. We have to rearrange our minds and our attitude towards the art in general. But we are in a better place than we used to be, but we still a little distance off of the mark in comparison with the other islands. And then you look at Antigua. Antigua have such a beautiful project with
decades,
for decades,
yeah.
and it's sweet, man.
Yeah.
Trinidad too, Trinidad have that vibe. You want children to know it's great. Our children are more laid back, but it starts from the top because our people are so laid back, and as you say, maybe don't like to compete. They don't see these things as important. But you know what? I must say something, because we live in a community where we have a diversity of these different nations that live here. And during last week, when we started our first rehearsal for the Junior Calypso competition, we had the Indians who knocking this out of the park. The Indian folks, Indian children will come, but we forgetting one thing, that they're born here. So they're part of St. Martin culture. Yeah. But fact is, we know that they come and they have their own culture, and it would be instilled different thing in our children. But that was really not surprising, but intriguing to me, because you see them there, and the students telling you, look, I don't want the song too slow. Because I don't like to, and a Chinese, we had a Chinese.
Everybody getting involved.
Getting involved.
Yeah.
So I want to tell our people, wake up. It's a good thing. This benefit the child in such a wide range in different areas as well. It's not just about the playing or the singing, but the bravery it made them get over the shyness.
You use it other ways too.
Other
I told you a few years ago, it was in Orlando Disney World.
Yep.
I saw a white guy playing steel
But
pan.
that's
He
all-
was being paid for it.
But that's all over. That's all
Yeah.
over. It's that thing because Europe in America, it's in the universities.
Yeah, they have courses.
the courses.
Yeah.
You know, and so our children should see it different. But the parents, the school managers, every school want them to perform. You know, they want, hey, you bring the children to perform, but what are they going to perform if they're not coming classes? You know, this is.
But you can't get the schools to be involved and cover part of the cost, like everything.
School ain't covering nothing. Well, for the Catholic schools, we give classes in the morning. We're being paid for that. Can the payment be better? Yes, of course. But I want people to see the importance of them being part of this. Because we have, for example, we have the recorder
Yeah.
in school. I have nothing against the recorder, but this is our Caribbean instrument. Put it in the school, have it in the school, every child plays steel band, you know, so that for longevity, it will preserve it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying the child not supposed to play flute or another instrument because I play bass guitar, as a matter of fact, we had a summer camp where we had brass instruments, we had all the instruments, but you see that the steel band it stood out and it stands out more than the others because this is a special thing for us, you know.
Yeah.
And the school managers and schools should be involved. Now, we have a project that is going to be ending this year, the end of January, which is next week. And we had this project for 1.5 years from the R4CR. That has definitely helped because we were able to do it consistent, have classes every day, and this is why we had this spot too. But we had people before that who was contributing to the cause in terms of having steel band music taught to our youngsters. People like the Najikos and them, for sure. I mean, Maxud, I say thank you to him because he was one, you know, he saw the importance of it and he would contribute it on a regular basis. So Najiko, and then other people in the community too. But on a consistent basis, he was one of those people. Then we get different funding from Prince Bernard funding, the UNESCO's, R4CR. Back then it used to be Oxnard. So all of those little things build. So it goes to show that you can't give up and show them the thing and how it is. So we teach our children to have to work until not just looking for a hands out. You know, you work, but at the same time reaching out to the community and the business people.
So you start.
And the people in authority too.
So have you started with the schools that you're talking about? You getting ready for this whole carnival thing?
Yes, we're getting ready. We're getting ready with them. This school, all the public schools, Martin Luther King, Marie Genevieve, Orania School, Lionel Connor School. We have some students from the vocational school who comes, and some children from the Sundial School as well. And then you have all the Catholic schools, Sister Marie Laurence, St. Dominic School, Sister Borgia, Magda.
So
St.
basically
Joseph.
you have them then.
All of them have a group.
Right,
You
okay.
understand? So they will compete against each other.
And so it doesn't have an age range, just school.
Well, the schools are this primary school. We used to be at the Mac High School. That's a next story within itself. And sometimes people will say, well, it's best not to talk about some things. But sometimes I think the people should be aware of what's taking place here with us, especially as well, not as local, as human beings, but then we are local. And sometimes we just leave people bypass us or take us for granted.
Yeah.
So we're no longer in the high school. And but nevertheless, we're in a good place. The primary school, so that those age kids from group 6, so that's like 4th grade on.
That's
on
a good.
up to
That's a
6.
good.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Inside, yeah.
So are you surprised that you're going to be doing this, or is it something you were looking forward to?
Well, I don't know if to call it surprise, but I know it's a task for sure. It's not an easy task, but it becomes hard when if I have to do it alone.
You have the whole foundation
You have a
behind
foundation, you have the members, you have people like other Calypsonians, In the Calypsonia, the come first to mind is Baker Jr. He's a doer, you know. I like him for that. He's a doer, and okay, everybody have their way.
He's very
man.
involved, and he really can get.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You know, we need people involved. You just can't sit. I'm going to. I am not going to. No, as much as maybe the other Calypsonians not full-fledged in it, I'm still here to encourage them. I reach out to everybody because we need their help. You know, that's one way to go. But I'm not gonna sit down and then wait till they call a meeting or wait. No, we ain't waiting no more. We got to hold us bull by the horn, and we are already on the way.
So the Dow Musical Foundation, how old is it now?
Well, we from 1991, it was the Ebony Steel Foundation first. Right. Then I changed that in 2004. But it's the same, the same cloth. Just that we changed it. Yes, changed the name. Yeah. 2004. To do more, I said, okay, let me name it Dow's Musical Foundation. So then when it switched. But even from 2004 to now is a long time. From 1991 to now, it's double time.
That's good. What your father said to you about it? Because everything started with your father.
Of course.
How do you feel about what you're doing today?
Well, I having these wonderful times with my dad lately. I say sometimes my dad does act just like if the first time he saw me, the first time he see me, how you do that? Then one day he told me, I understand what you're doing now. I see how your teaching methods are. But I think already my father knew that one way or the other that Dow was going to be involved in music and he's going to take this further. So as well as my brother, my deceased brother Neville. But my father I know when I went to St. Vincent, you could see the glee on his face. He was so happy because then I was in another country doing arrangement, and he by step, he like, well, how you get that do? How you get that band sounding like that? So when you gonna give them the next part? And then the other day, what would stay with me for a very, very long time, when he said to me, he walked up to me, he said, I understand how you're teaching now. I like your methods. I see what you're doing now. I see how you're trying to preserve it. It had one time when the steel pan was kind of like down, and he come to me and say, what are you guys doing? What are you doing with the steel pan? You can't leave it die because it's dying. And I tell him, no, man, we're going to get it up. So he was like he's like with, like the mentor, but the guy like, who I didn't want to disappoint because he started. Now, as I told him, my dad wasn't the first person to introduce steel pan to St. Martin, but he's definitely responsible for its continuity and preserving it. He did such a wonderful job.
Leaving quite a lasting impact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I said, thank you, Chata. Thank you, Chester. Thank you, Daddy. Yes.
It's good because on this stick, you brought me your songs. So you're going to join your brother, the late Neville, because your brother was on this program many, many years ago, and he brought me a CD. And everyone said to me, how come we hearing Neville music on the radio station, 99.9 FM, and we're not hearing Dow?
Oh boy, absolutely.
So from today now, they will hear Dow.
They will hear Dow. But now, I just brought you the Calypso song, so I have to go now and get you back some steel pan sound now you're gonna spend this year with me, man.
Right, that's great.
For sure.
And anyway, in case you've just joined us, I'm Oral Gibbs here with Speaking of Everything, the man himself, the mighty Dow. He's with us. When we come back, we're gonna continue speaking with him right here on Speaking of Everything. And Speaking of Everything is on radio, 99.9 FM radio. Also on YouTube, Facebook, TV Carib. When we come back, we'll talk some more. Please stay with us right here on Speaking of Everything. Right back.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
It's on Hot 99.9 FM radio station. You can give us a call if you want to advertise on Hot 99.9 FM radio station, 520-6070. That's 520-6070. And we'll hook you up, and then you be on the radio. I'm Earl Gibbs here with the man himself, Mighty Doe. Mighty Doe holds some records, right? Music.
Got some awards and
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. And you've been traveling quite a bit too throughout the region and the world, right?
Right, like 2022 was a very good year for
Yeah?
me. It reminded me in the past, like I used to be up and down singing rumba here and there. I had a wonderful travel experience and promoting St. Martin, by the way. I mean, went to Tallahassee and the Augusta, Kentucky. Everybody, when you say Augusta, they say Atlanta, but there's Augusta, Kentucky. I've been to Chicago.
Like there? You like Chicago?
Yeah, I like Chicago, man. Chicago is nice. I did a performance there with Huntley Brown, who also used to do performances with my brother. We did a concert in the church there. And I did a workshop in Kentucky. And then I went to the Netherlands. The last tour was to the Netherlands. I went to the Netherlands for a St. Martin's Day celebration, where, the Saint St. Martin, how they say, he was this great saint that, used to share with the poor, and they celebrate his thing. And then, so by coincidence, to St. Martin, his name St. Martin, it happened around the same, I think the 11th of November is his birthday. And the celebration was then. And I also did a workshop there. But you know what's so amazing? When you go to these countries and these, the folks, they don't want you to come back home.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're home, they're like, you're wondering, well, you guys getting tired of me or what? But
They take it for granted.
granted, that's the word. That's the word. But on a serious note, though, I think I want to reach out to the St. Martin Tourist Bureau. And I know I've mentioned this to them a couple of times, but I really think if they sit down and take me serious, that they know that wherever I go, I'm taking St. Martin with me. Because the first thing people ask you where you're from, in St. Martin. And so I think the tourist office should kind of support us.
But when you're going to travel, maybe you should let them know and then
Yes,
see
of
what
course,
they can
of
do.
course. That's what I'm saying. They know of some of the travel, but we really, I'm going to give them all the documentation that they need, and looking forward to their bigger support this year. Yeah. More support, because we also do what is famous. So we also do a lot of tourist class, meaning people who come from the cruise ship. They will come and take a steel band lesson for an hour.
Oh,
so that's been a tour within itself. And I always reach out to the tourist board. I said, listen, that's what we got to promote, because the people love this. One thing you telling it to them, but they don't believe it and actually coming with. They know it too, I think, but it's just like, so we look for more support there, as well as the culture department. I mean, Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Education and Culture. I think they play a big role in terms of even just supporting, endorsing what we do, and
But you shouldn't have a problem though.
and letting the public know that this is good to do.
From your neighborhood alone, okay? You have your family, you have ministers, you control almost the whole government.
Well, if it was indeed that, well, we'll want to think that it should be easier then to get the message across and say, well, listen, he's from a region, and not only from a region, he's from St. Martin. What is he doing? Is it something important for us? You would want to think, well, we could walk it easier that way, but I don't know. But maybe I have to call them into to task. I gotta call them to meeting again. But,
As a guy said, this is a Miller Region Sucker Garden government.
So I don't know where that anywhere that this should leave Doe out. But I'm still encouraging them to do so, because it is important.
Yeah.
And too often in St. Martin too, we have this thing like when we see somebody go forward, we drag them. We keep saying it, but does it even make any sense anymore? I mean, if I do good, St. Martin do good. And I'm already doing good for St. Martin.
Yeah.
So why St. Martin just have to do good back to me? That's it.
Yeah.
Support.
Yeah, that's... I went to St. Kitts one time, and when I went through the terminal building, there's a huge photo of this guy from St. Kitts. He was an athlete. I can't remember, it was a few years now, like 6-7 years ago. Maybe they have to put some big photos of guys like you and King Bobo and all the different guys in the arrival hall,
Well, listen.
showcasing who we are as a culture.
I did that one time.
Yeah.
I don't have the differences because I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah.
So I had to get somebody who like, you don't speak to them. But I know the manager then, I said to her, I said, listen, you know, when we go to Puerto Rico, just as you described, you see Rodriguez or something with a bat in his hand.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, maybe you gotta do that since St. Martin Rumba was the biggest hit we have, it still is.
Yeah.
Put on there. She said, man, if I do that for you, what are others gonna think? What gonna think? What this one gonna think? And I'm like, there we go. And it wasn't to make nobody else feel bad. It was just to put,
Yeah.
you know, the truth is the truth. This is the guy standing on forward. Put him out there. But that's the way to see the things. And I hope we can change that. Like, call an ace and a spade, you know. And we should. The other countries, they don't waste time on that.
But I think people, a lot of people don't realize how big that song was, Simon Rumba. It was huge,
And still is.
you know.
Still
So
is, because every you know, so often I collect royalties every 3 months for the song. And not only that, people would have, you know, used to come here and say, listen, we want these guys to perform for us. Sometimes they would reach the hotel managers, and the hotel managers don't even tell me that they come in. That's how bad they used to think, you know? And it's so amazing, boy. It's so amazing. It's like they're telling themselves, well, why didn't I make the hit? You see, I would like to say this. I think this is an appropriate time for me to say this. Like, and this goes for politicians too. Maybe they think if I'm not part of it, if I don't have nothing in it, I don't do anything in it. But I think they're making a big error there, because if I use myself as an example, I'm here talking to you right now, but they have classes going on. Then I know that we're improving. That
Right.
I don't need to be there, but it's still Dow.
Yeah.
They're gonna anything happen, they're gonna call Dow name. They're gonna say Dow train them good. So I still get the name,
Yeah.
but I don't have to necessarily be there. I don't have to be inside of it to make it happen.
Right.
So from that point, so I'm reaching out there to the people in the authority, you know, that we don't have the more like unnecessary arguments, unnecessary discussions. You reach out to them for something, they don't get back to you. It takes so long.
that's
It's so
hard. That's
unfortunate.
hard to change. But you know, I
It's
look at my
unfortunate.
clock and it almost other times. So I'm gonna give you the last minute to tell us about what's coming up for Carnival again.
Yeah, so on April 2nd, 2023, by the way, I must say thank you to the Port of St. Martin, because we're going to be hosting the 2 events right there, and it's going to be happening on the same night. The Junior Calypso competition and the Junior Steel Pan competition, we call Junior Panorama, between the schools. So we want to encourage the schools and all the fans and the teachers to come and shout for your school. Make sure that your school doing good, and teachers and encourage the children to come out and do good for your school.
Well, Righty Doe, I want to wish you all the best and congratulations on what you're doing. All right,
Thank you.
and that's it for now. See you next time right here on Speaking of Everything. Till then, take care. Bye.